So here we are. Today we have the pleasure to interview Verena Schwab. I hope the pronunciation is correct. She is the leader, the CEO of Econutri. I hope it is correct. Econutri is an innovative company located in Graz and Vienna. Mainly the facilities are in Graz, in Austria. And I'm interested to know by Verena if she can tell a little bit about the company and about herself. Please, Verena.
Yeah, thank you so much for the introduction. As you said, I'm Verena. I'm the CEO of Econutri. I've been working previously also in a couple of food startups, and I'm very passionate about food and sustainability. That's what we've kind of brought together with Econutri. We've been working on a gas fermentation process to produce protein ingredients from carbon dioxide. And we started in 2021 and have now made a lot of steps towards bringing products on the market.
Good. So, considering that a lot of people, particularly consumers and even some people in the industry, they are really not very well aware of the new technologies. The second question is, can you shortly explain us in detail by which kind of microorganism you are producing protein sources for food and feed? I understood. Please.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as you know, for fermentation, you always need a microorganism, and that's the case for cheese making, wine making, beer brewing. And there can be, for example, yeast used. And in our case, we use a bacteria, and that bacteria has the very special capability of using carbon dioxide as its sole carbon source. So instead of sugars, we feed it with the carbon dioxide that comes out of processes that produce it, for example, beer making. And then alongside with that, it needs hydrogen and oxygen for energy intake, and then it will produce a very protein-rich biomass from that.
Interesting. So, does it mean that you have to genetically modify the microorganisms or not?
No, so actually it's an organism that has been around for millions of years. It's developed in a time where in the atmosphere there was a lot of carbon dioxide, hydrogen, and oxygen present. And it does that as a natural process, so we don't have to alterate it at all. Yeah, as long as we feed it with those resources, it will produce a very fine protein biomass.
And I'm a consumer and I'm used to think that the animal-derived protein, the protein from eggs or meat, fish, etc., are generally better than the protein we can get from vegetable sources, apart from some legumes, maybe. So a consumer probably would ask, okay, we get a food with protein from microorganisms, but are such protein with all the amino acid and so nutrient dense as the one from animal or not?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously there's a different protein for each of these resources that you mentioned. Our organism makes a protein profile that has a very similar amino acid profile to animal source proteins. But obviously we have to look very deep into the nutritional values of the specific product that we're making. And we want to make sure that we get products that really have the nutritional value for humans.
I see. And then the third question is about at which stage is your company? I mean, are you still just on the R&D step, just optimizing this fermentation process? And if you are, which is the time scale for you to get to the market? If you will then sell to ingredients to food companies or feed companies, or you plan to have your own products on the market?
Yeah, so obviously we started piloting 3 years ago. R&D phase has been much longer. So our scientists, they have been working with the organism for many decades even. And 3 years ago, we started to build our own pilot. We've built specific fermenters to enhance the process, to make it better, more efficient. And we've been working out the processes in that pilot fermentation system. And we're now ready to go for a scale-up process for making feed ingredients that can be used for pet food or aquafeed products. Those have been tested. We've done trials with that. So the safety has been guaranteed. And now we can go for a bigger project to set up a facility that can actually produce the protein ingredients. So we plan to do that in the next 2 years. And alongside with that, we're still in product development for food ingredients, and those then need to be approved by the novel food authorities.
So if you have a cat, the first consumer will be your cat, probably.
Could be your cat, it could be your dog. So we're mainly going for dogs, but cat could also be a customer.
Yeah, good. And last but not least, I'm curious to know, in your experience, in your history already, a few years history of your company, which main challenges you have been facing, and which are the bottlenecks that you still have, and how you are working to solve this.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously, being a startup in a very competitive environment, you have a lot of challenges that you have to face. So I think first it's very important to have, very good goals, so that you're, really focused on what you're, working on, what the R&D team is working on, because obviously the resources are a bit limited. Then obviously the team itself, it's very important to get the right people in, to have the right scientists working on the right topics. And yeah, then of course, finance is also something that is quite important. It's not been so easy in the last years to get financing done, but it's still possible. And I think when the project generally works and there's a vision behind the project, it's still very possible to get the needed finance if you're really smart in using the money for the right thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Verena, I think it was very interesting. I hope our audience will appreciate your talk and the information we are providing them. And I wish, of course, good luck with your enterprise. And I hope to meet you soon in Parma at Food Revolution.
And thank you so much, and have good luck also with the organization of the event.
Thank you very much.